Well, it's time for another First Expectations video. Now, you remember the last video I made where I talked about the Patrick Star Show? This video is going to be another one of these videos that are like that. However, in this video, I'm going to be talking about the new live-action Powerpuff show that's based on the classic Cartoon Network show, the Powerpuff Girls, from 1998 to 2005. Before I go any further into detail on this, I know what you guys are thinking. Brick, aren't you inspired by one of the characters from that show to look like this? Why are you talking about a Powerpuff Girls show? Well, for one thing, even though I could be considered a fan of the original because my look is similar to one of the characters from the show, who's also named Brick, at least in the original show, that does not mean I cannot talk about this, as I am a cartoon fan. I've talked about similar shows in my Cartoon Network rant from last year, and I'm going to do exactly what I'm going to talk about in this video. So sit down and allow me to explain. At first, I really thought this live-action TV show of the Powerpuff Girls series was a joke at first. When I first heard about this last year, around August, when this came out, I really thought this was a joke. Especially after we've got that horrible 2016 reboot that the majority of people did not like. And there are many good reasons why. Other than that, I have mixed feelings about the new Powerpuff live-action reboot that's going to be airing on the CW this fall. And I'll also be talking about some of the cast and the stuff they're planning on doing with that show, for the most part. For one thing, let's go over the main cast shown for the Powerpuff Girls live-action reboot show. For one thing, the three characters, and I'm going to quote one of my friends on this, the Powerpuff Girls would look a little creepy in live action. And I will go over why they look creepy when I will show some behind-the-scenes photos that were already posted of the show, since they have already started filming as of the time I'm recording this. So, other than the Powerpuff Girls looking kind of creepy in live action, for some of the cast, I think they are doing a good job on that. Blossom is played by Chloe Wang, who was originally known to be in shows such as Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which my parents have watched. But I have not watched a lot of that show, nor have I kept up with Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Bubbles is played by Dove Cameron, who is known on Disney Channel sitcoms such as Liv and Maddie. She was on that show. And Buttercup is played by Yana Peralt. And yeah, one problem I have with this cast is that one of the characters is played by a black woman or an African American. Now, I'm not trying to be racist in this in any way. I'm not trying to say any threats to the cast in any way, if you know what I mean. But from what I know, this is not referenced in the cartoon. This was only, I think, in music videos. For example, in Sugar Babe's Angels with Dirty Faces, one of the three people in that band plays as Buttercup, and she happens to be black. And in the parody video, Keeping Up with the Powerpuff Girls by Lele Pons, one of the characters, which is also Buttercup, happens to be played by a black woman in that one too. The only difference is that those are just the main people playing as the characters, and the other one is a parody at least, for the most part. But in the cartoon, which includes the original show from 1998, and the 2016 reboot. Take a look at these characters for a second. The one on the left being the character Buttercup from the 1998 Powerpuff Girls show, and the picture on the right is the character from the 2016 reboot. Both of them are not black in any way, and from what I know, they're not played by a black woman. So this just doesn't make any sense. Because if they really wanted to make the cast right, they shouldn't have taken inspiration from the Powerpuff Girls parodies or music video, or that parody I've also mentioned before, Keeping Up with the Powerpuff Girls. I'm just wondering, have some of these people, if not all of them, have seen the original show? Or if they had to watch the reboot at least, too? But if not, have they even seen the original show? They got one of the cast members totally wrong. But this is just what I think. But maybe they could prove me wrong. Maybe it might be a good adaptation. But I don't know. And speaking of which, Professor Utonium, who is played by Donald Falson, he is also black. He is a black man, or an African American. And I'm just going to make a theory about this. You can post your theories related to that and talk about if I'm correct or anything. But I think the theory as to why Professor Utonium is played by a black man is this. The real Professor Utonium from the 1998 Powerpuff Girls show happened to get married after the show's run, when the Powerpuff Girls grew up, and they got a divorce, and the person that Professor Utonium originally married took the Powerpuff Girls with her, and she happened to remarry someone just like Professor Utonium, and that happens to be that black person. And we don't know what happened to the mother, so I'm thinking they got divorced again, and now this is what we have. We have Professor Utonium played by a black person, or the black Professor Utonium, with the Powerpuff Girls. But that's just my theory. I could be completely wrong or just speculating on this. So that's just my theory as to what I think could have happened in one of the casts. But let me tell you this, the rest of the characters are right. They did get Bubbles right, and they did get Blossom right, even though the person who plays Blossom is Asian. I mean, she doesn't look anything different from what Blossom looks like in real life, so they did a good job in that there. And Miss Bellum, the mayor's assistant, is played by Robin Lively, who looks exactly like she would be, you know, the mayor's assistant, you know, because the mayor's assistant's supposed to be some attractive, tall woman. And Robin Lively looks kind of like that. And even in pictures I've seen, like this one, for example, she does look kind of like Miss Bellum, so they did a good job there. The only good thing I'll have to look forward to is that Tom Kenny, the narrator, he's coming back in the live-action show. And he will be back for the Powerpuff Girls live-action show. He did come back in the reboot too on some occasions, but at least he's coming back in the live-action show. That is something to look forward to. That is one character that won't look any different, that nobody should replace, at least, from the Powerpuff Girls. That was a good thing. A lot of the other characters, I don't think it has been confirmed that much yet, but I'll have some articles up, which I will read in a bit. But so far, my opinions, again, they got most of the characters correct. But I just don't know how they're going to fit with some of the characters looking different. With Buttercup and Professor Utonium both played by African Americans, respectively. But hopefully they can prove me wrong, and maybe this might work well in some way. We may just never know. But yeah, the live-action show is currently being filmed, and I'll put some pictures of that while I also read some text from the article. The first article I'm going to read will be about the live-action show, about the casting. Not going to read the whole thing because I've already talked about some stuff related to this, but yeah, read along with me, you guys. The Powerpuff Girls live-action series was first announced as being in development back in August. Based on the Cartoon Network series originally created by Craig McCracken, the new series sees the pint-sized superheroes as disillusioned 20-somethings, such as in their 20s, who resent having lost their childhood to crime fighting. Will they agree to reunite now that the world needs them more than ever? And this goes on to mention the characters. Blossom, though she was a spunky, conscientious, Little Miss Perfect child who holds several advanced degrees, has repressed kitty superhero trauma, has left her feeling anxious and reclusive, and she aims to become a leader again, this time on her own terms. This could mean that Blossom would be a leader in her own way, and I think this will kind of remind me of the Cartoon Network Mad Show parody, where they parody Two Broke Girls and Powerpuff Girls, where they had Blossom. She's more successful in the most part, and she is a motivational speaker, she runs a company, and she's a leader in some way. She's mainly supposed to be the intelligent character of the Powerpuff Girls, so this seems kind of interesting, though. But I just wonder how they're going to execute it. mainly in live action. Yeah, I don't know how it will represent too much yet, because not a lot of the show has been released or anything. There's just those behind the scenes, at least. So yeah, let me keep reading more from this. Bubble's sweet girl disposition won America's hearts as a child. She still sparkles as an adult, but her charming exterior bellies an unexpected toughness and wit. She's initially more interested in recapturing her fame than saving the world, but she might surprise us and herself. Yeah, I'm skipping some of this article because it already talks about the actors, and I've already talked about some of the actors. And now we got Buttercup. Buttercup was the rebellious badass of the Powerpuff Girls in its heyday. More sensitive than her tough exterior suggests, Buttercup has spent her adulthood trying to shed her Powerpuff Girl identity and live an anonymous life. So for the most part, Buttercup would be changing her name. But I'm going to add something here. I hope this really doesn't mean that, I guess the casting could be that Buttercup would have a skin condition or something or whatever, where she just had to put some cream on her face or anything. Don't think I'm racist over that. I'm just saying, like, how some people had to do that because they had some kind of disease related to skin condition or whatever. Maybe not disease, but something like that. I'm not gonna name names, but I'm sure you know people that have related to that, and I'm guessing that's what they're doing to Buttercup. I could be wrong though. I could be wrong. The Powerpuff Girls pilot hails from writers and executive producers Heather Regner and Diablo Cody, with Cody executive producing via Vita Vera Films. Greg Berlanti, Sarah Schechter, and David Madden will executive produce via Berlanti Production. Erica Kenner will produce. Maggie Kiley will direct and executive produce the pilot, and Warner Brothers Television will produce. Yeah, speaking of one of the people, including the company that will take part of this, one of the executive producers, Greg Berlanti, as mentioned by Craig McCracken, the creator of the Powerpuff Girls original show, he said that he declared his liking of Greg Berlanti produced superhero shows, and he is curious about what they would do with their adaptation. So at least with some of the people that are working on the show, at least Craig McCracken, he doesn't have a lot of bad things to say. So we could say they kind of have his approval, which is good. I'm just happy about that. Because, of course, the last show made, the reboot, the show wasn't really in Craig McCracken's vision or how he would have done it. This probably is a good thing. Alright, right here I will be showing pictures from the behind the scenes while I will read this article. I'll also link in the description. It's Powerpuff's live action cast suits up in first set photos. These first photos from the live action adaptation of the Powerpuff Girls show the heroes dressed in their trademark colors and taken to the sky. The Powerpuff Girls are ready for the live-action series, and nothing's going to keep them down on the ground. In a behind-the-scenes look at shooting for the show's pilot, the three leads make their first appearance as Blossom, Bubbles, and Buttercup. Dressed in their trademark colors, the girls demonstrate their superpowers as Blossom game launched skyward for a flight effect. Several photos and a short video clip are available from a scene being filmed on Wednesday, April 7th in Atlanta, Georgia. They are the first time that fans get to see what the live-action Powerpuffs look like in costume. I've only seen the photos so far, and if you can see these photos on the screen, yeah, and from what I know from some people, I've heard that cosplayers who make some similar costumes look better than this. And if that's so, that's just bad. Really bad. Especially since the people who are producing this show are a Hollywood studio and such as Warner Bros. And everything. So you would think they would have the money to get better related costumes for this and be able to use better costumes for the show. I'm just hoping they're going to do effects or whatever to make this look good, because cartoons that they're basing these off of do not work well in real life at all, for the most part. And if I can find the short video clip, I'll put this in the video, or if not, and I happen to find the video clip later, there will be a link to the video clip in the description below. My overall thoughts in general, I'm hoping this at least goes well and does not go as bad as the 2016 reboot. Like that monstrosity that we mainly want to forget because of how bad that was made. And there are many videos related to that, and I'll link one video about the 2016 reboot if you want more information about it and some of the reasons why people do not like that show in general. But yeah, other than that, I'm just hoping this show does well, and I will be watching this show when this comes out. And you may see a reaction from me and my friend when the first episode of this show premieres. So look out for that, and I will be making that very soon. The show does not have a release date yet, but it should come out in the fall on the CW if you live in the United States. I don't know about when it will premiere in any other countries, but so far would have a US release. Or if you live near the United States, you might be able to watch this show. But let me know what you think of this new show. If you don't care about this show, that's fine. So if you're only just curious or wanting to know my thoughts, that's perfectly fine. So this will be all for my video. So make sure to give me your comments related and what you think of my points. Do you think my points were maybe unnecessary? What is your overall opinion? Did you think some of the cast members were the right choices? Again, let me know in the comments below. This has been Brick, and I'm out.